Hello, excellent. Apologize to everybody here whose time I wasted by coming late, and also to the organizers who have put an extraordinary show here. And I think the dedication of the people who have arranged this conference is really one of the factors that would go a long way in dealing with this issue. Now, what I plan to do today is, okay, if you would see, normally people are talking a lot about solid waste, not so new, but a different kind of waste, which I call a tsunami of waste, which may really engulf all of us, and especially India, is something we need to worry about. So today I'll talk about e-waste. It will be a kind of primer, because I thought for an audience like this, I would just present some basics and some data. And then I will invite you to talk and get in touch with me through emails and cell phone and WhatsApp. I started a foundation here. It's only a year old, but I think we are beginning to focus on some of the strategic weaknesses that our entire effort for improving the environment is in need of. So I will talk about e-waste today, and again I will remind, I'm not calling it a tsunami for nothing. I think there is too much riding on this waste, which is the fastest growing waste, and probably when we begin to take care, it may unleash very, very poisonous gases and make this planet absolutely unlivable. So I hope you get motivated to get some very basic data to do something about it. This is the time. I think very soon it may be late. So it's a growing menace of e-waste, a tsunami waiting to unleash. Now, electronic waste or electrical waste, a lot of people call it combined e-waste. This includes the waste of TVs. I think a lot of Indian houses on the planet, and soon, as I said, it will be out of control. Monitors, electronic equipment, these percentages are estimated percentages, but everything I say here is out of some paper or posting. Consumer electronics, 15%, appliances, 30%. So these appliances have a huge amount of waste, including metallic waste and non-metallic waste and other kind, plastic, silicon plastic, things like that. So here is a breakdown, which is essentially what I showed in that chart. But what are the dangers of e-waste? I think the e-waste contains a lot of unhealthy materials which can impact our motor functions, impact our brain faculties, immune system, healing capabilities, which is part of immune system, reproductive system, and non-human habitat of the planet. Now, each of these turns out to be very significant, much more than the plastic would do. And I'm not undermining any other waste. I think there is a tsunami of every waste we need to take care. But this, as I'll show you some data very soon, this is like 100 bullet trains coming on to us, and we don't really recognize what to do with it, and it may be too late. So, and I've not heard much in India at least about e-waste. In US there is some awareness, and yet a lot more is to be done. So the kind of materials that are harmful would be mercury, lead, cadmium, polybrominated flame retardants, barium, lithium, and so on. And these are, as I said before, they impact our nervous system, our brain system, immune system, and of course, these impacts are much more severe for children and ladies, especially pregnant ladies. So I think this is something we really need to look at, and look at very quickly and very seriously. Now I will not read this out, but this is a detailed impact of each of these materials I talked about. For instance, this chart will give you, starting from what the toxicant is. PV, as many of you would know, is lead. Hg is mercury, CD is cadmium, chromium, and then, circuit boards and so many other things. And what is the impact of this waste on people? This is what this chart shows, and this is what motivates me and my foundation to really focus this as a strategic priority. Now again, this is a 1916 chart that I got, but I got a later data as well. 44.7 million ton of this in the universe, and then there is a division over different e-waste categories. So here is some data, some trivia. 50 million tons of e-waste every year right now. And believe it or not, it's growing at 30%. And all this data is from very, very authentic sources. And I provided the source of this in this PowerPoint at the end. Now, 78 million tons in 5 years. This is a conservative estimate. In fact, according to some estimate, I saw as 185 million tons that we'll face in just 5 years. Anyway, being conservative, in 2050, this would be 120 million tons. Now we talk about million tons as if it's like something you can put in a bag and carry. It's not quite that. Much of this would, is there a good news? Well, first of all, to complete the bad news, even in advanced economies, they are processing only 20% of the e-waste. That means 1 million ton, which is, so only 0.2 million tons, which is 200,000 tons, is taken to the landfill. Is it treated? In India, that figure is not 20%, but what's the good news? I'm a business professor, and for me the good news is, what is in it for me? If I do everything for e-waste, what can I do? Well, there are, first of all, here is the news. There are precious metals in this waste: aluminium, copper, gold, silver, palladium, cadmium, cobalt, nickel. And here is the clincher. Says $62.5 billion worth of gold in 1 year of e-waste. If that doesn't motivate you, let me just show this. If you get an ore of gold somewhere in South Africa, in 1 ton of ore, you get 1.8 grams of gold. 1 ton, 1.8 grams, quarter of a spoon. And in the waste, gold from 1 ton of e-waste, anywhere from 50 to 2,400 grams. So, if you do a quick calculation, anywhere from 25 to 1,200 times of gold in this e-waste. So from a business standpoint, there is a lot of incentive to look at it very seriously and create solutions. Now, let me skip this circular economy right now, and I'll just jump to what needs to be done. First of all, I think India has done a great job in creating rules and regulations 2011, 2016 over the hallmark years where good work was done. And these are, if we could follow them, are very powerful kind of requirements. If we could follow, that's the key. However, the good work stops there, okay? There is no enforcing mechanism, or even if there is enforcement, before that we have to have a solid monitoring mechanism. Even for monitoring, we need people to come out and do something. So I heard a lecture recently, there's a video. This was on Rajya Sabha TV, I saw. They say that we have 120 e-waste recyclers. I think then that there was a question by the person there who said, no, we have more, we have about 300. According to my estimate, we need over 10,000 in this country. Recyclers should be not only in big cities, but every city where e-waste is produced, which means every city. So, anyway, there is the huge amount of work to be done, and we have not scratched the surface. But good news is, we have a standard. We have a standard called Extended Producers Responsibility, EPR, for, I think they are called UEE, Used Electronic and Electrical Equipment. So we need to really begin to think in terms of implementing what the requirements are, and that itself would be a long plan unless we totally really concentrate this as a priority. And frankly, I don't see the priority, but I can tell you that we are, as a foundation, that charge money sometimes, low money, but sometimes they give money. That's not enough. We cannot afford to get foreign waste and process here because simply there is no processing. I visited a plant in Noida here. All they are doing, they are looking at the e-waste and whatever they can just pick up absolutely usable, new, they keep it. I will spend little time on my area of expertise, which is how do we need to change our business curriculum in order to deal with not only e-waste, but the entire environmental issue of sustainability. Anyway, so we need to start. We are actually in the process of developing a very threadbare plan, what can be done, and then we intend to really talk with people who are interested in taking it forward. It cannot be done by one organization or, even smaller organization. It needs to be involvement of people, government, and business. That's the only way it can be done. So, anyway, I would just say with this last thing, in US, where we said only 20% is collected, but if you do a Google search, you will see that immediately there will be 10 sites coming forward saying we'll pick up your waste free. I don't see that. I know that you can do that in India, and there are over 300 kind of stations who will honor such a request. But to the best of my knowledge, that's really a very small proportion of what needs to be done. So I'll leave you with a little bit of kind of finger goading that please get on this wagon. It's leaving and soon it'll be out of control. It's, as I said, it's like a bullet train coming on to us, and we won't have time to deal with it. Just as we are very late for other issues will be very late for this. And I like to take, how much time I have? How much time? Okay, don't worry, just put the next one. Yeah, put the next one. I'll take 5 minutes touching on very, very broad points. How actually I'm engaged in changing the MBA level and undergrad level curricula of business. I'm sure this knowledgeable and august audience knows what is triple bottom line. Triple bottom line paradigm is just a start. Triple bottom line, we always used to say, hey, the bottom line, and everybody would understand it's money, profits. Today, profit will not make you sustainable. Customer, consumers, people, they have changed. Earlier on, the customer would be very satisfied on low price, high quality, high level of customization in the product, quick delivery, and good service. That was all. Those were individual or selfish priorities. Today's customer is quite different. And change may not be complete here because I get a lot of knee-jerk reactions from many business executives. He said, oh, no, if I want to make my product very environment friendly, I lose all my profit. Not quite so. I think I know at least over 200 business models where they have shown that better environmental product can give you higher profit. So it's not a counter purpose, environment, CSR and profit. In fact, properly done, smartly done, inbuilt into curricula, these are actually synergistic concepts. And we have seen models after models. Western economies have moved on to it. We have to catch up. And that is one of the fundamental reasons why our foundation really looks at business. Business are big polluters, as we know, but we intend to change their role from polluters to actually saviors if we could show that this could be profitable. It's not a pie in the sky. It's not something in theory. It's not idealism. It's the practical thing that advanced economies have shown again and again. So we need to change our curricula, but in which we show, and I taught a course at IIT Delhi called Economics of Sustainability. I brought so many examples there where companies, by following a greener policy, made much more profit, and that's true for virtually every company. Anyway, so what I'm going to do here is talk just 2 or 3 points that must be brought into our curriculum. I think what is missing in the current curriculum are few. Now there may be somewhere. I took a look at over 123 programs, and I can tell you that not all these features are in the curriculum development. For instance, can we take dynamic decisions? I'll give you an example of systems thinking. We cannot think of just profit alone. We need to think of value. What value give? Now, quality is to a product what sustainability is to a planet. So for quality, you can easily, they say you can fool some people all the time, all the people sometime, but you can't fool all the people all the time. So if your quality is bad, very soon it will come out. Today, with Amazon or eBay or any e-retailer or anyone has a website and their product reviews, customer reviews, they just tell the story. So what I'm saying, quality can unsurface much more quickly if it is bad. Sustainability, because it applies to the entire planet, but sustainability, it depends on every individual's habits and practices, is so difficult. We have micro input converted into macro input and we cannot see what's going on. So our courses have to be redesigned so that there is a complete awareness. I know Government of India requires that there should be an environment course right at the lowest levels of school. But what I believe is at baccalaureate and at the master's level, where people are going into business, they have a humongous role to play in order to change the environment. And that is actually one of the distinctive points of our foundation, that we will provide that kind of knowledge and expertise that businesses are interested, but we will also seek them out. We will help businesses out to do work in a sustainable manner. So systems thinking is absolutely necessary. Don't think of just profit. Think of value and profit, and you will see you can make them synergistic. Real world application, I see a big lack, especially in many of the Indian colleges. We talk a lot of good theory and we make great mathematical models. I made myself some. Okay. So anyway, just I'll make a couple more points. Here are the things, the features by which we need to change our business curriculum. Some business schools have some, others have others, but no business school has all these features. And I can take hours to explain why all these features are needed. And again, I would like that sustainability cannot be taught just as a separate course. It has to be taught as a diffused sustainability. In other words, everything is like quality. It's not just your product, it's how you do the entire operation. Same sustainability must be in every single course, and it should be kind of a running theme in whatever models or solutions or case studies you develop. And again, I have a lot to say, but I'll give you two examples. Right now, I'm working, again, area of my expertise. There is a program there is a program called Six Sigma. The goal of Six Sigma is to make quality much better, 3.4 parts per million. But today's Six Sigma is a different thing. It's not just a quality program. It is a strategic program, it's a culture-changing program, and this is the time to revitalize this program so that Six Sigma is not just Six Sigma, it's lean, mean, green Six Sigma. Lean is obviously no waste, and some people say I have no right to talk about lean, but I will talk anyway. So mean is low cost. You know, you pinch pennies. And green. These three things should be the running theme in every single application and example we develop there. So that is a complete work. I'm changing my own manual, but there are many people working with me on this. And then last thing, for instance, we must really know that world is changing much faster. So just to give you an example of multi-echelon distribution system in supply chain, earlier the warehouse is here and they get a quantity to be distributed, they will decide